I'm a native of West Virginia. My family's been here for 300 years or so. They were original settler colonists. My son is the first person to be born outside of the state of West Virginia, and in fact outside of Upshur County in about 300 years' time. So West Virginia has been a really important place for me. I got an opportunity in 2013 to come back here and join the faculty in the School of Music at WVU, and took the opportunity immediately. I really wanted to be back home. One of the first things I did when I got here was I started a bluegrass band, a student bluegrass band. I believe it's really important that we teach the musics that come from this place, and our School of Music had never really taught bluegrass or old-time traditional music. So for me, it was important to get students started. We've now been doing that for 10 years. We've played for several thousand school kids around the state of West Virginia, and I've taught over 100 students how to play in the music that I love. Our bluegrass band here has a really busy year. What we do at the very beginning of the year, we get together and just figure out who all we are. The band is always new every semester, and so we're figuring out, what does the banjo player know how to do this time around, and what do our fiddle players know how to do? And first few weeks, we're just kind of figuring out how to talk to each other. And then by maybe week 4 or week 5, we have rehearsed together enough we can start to do maybe a 15-minute show. And so we'll do something maybe in the lobby of our building here, or maybe up at the library or something, just to get out in public and play a little bit of music. We go from there, start playing actual shows out in the public. We play here in our community. We also do a lot of school shows to share our love and our knowledge of this music with others. And by the time we're done with the semester, we have over an hour's worth of music that we can play. We'll have workshops with master musicians who come to us from here in our community as well as from Nashville to work with us. I grew up playing this music. I grew up playing bluegrass gospel with my mom in a little church, and I learned so much about music from that. And so Mom and I would play those. I played guitar, and she sang the melody. I sang harmony, and eventually my voice changed, and we flipped parts. She sang the harmonies, and I sang the melodies. And so bluegrass music has always just been so important to me, and I'm glad to be able to pass that love on. One of the things that helped me when I was learning to play bluegrass music as a kid was having other musicians who knew more than I did help me out. And I would strongly encourage anybody who wants to play this kind of music to find one of the people who already likes it, who's already playing it, and just play with them. Play with them as much as you can. Sit down knee to knee and learn their tunes and learn their stories, because this music doesn't mean anything without the stories that those people carry. If they offer you a nice dinner at the end of playing some tunes, take them up on it, because it's about those connections too. Eventually you'll be the person, you might be the only person who remembers that person when they're gone. And it's so important that we carry them on with us. And you're going to learn that from the very beginning by just hanging out with these wonderful people. Bluegrass is a commercial country music form. Most people don't remember that history, but it actually only goes back to the 1940s. But what it does is it takes the blues music that African Americans who lived in southern West Virginia were playing and singing, and the old-time fiddle tunes from the British Isles that the settlers brought with them, and merges them together in a way that kind of takes all of that and puts it on overdrive. It makes it faster and louder and higher, and it's very energetic and enthusiastic music. Songwriters in this region often write about the things that are of everyday life, be that heartbreak or troubles on the job. And so bluegrass songs are often about the things that we experience every day here, with a special kind of Appalachian twang to it, with the ways we talk embedded in the lyrics and the ways we think. A lot of good nature imagery, references to trees and creeks and things that are really so abundant here. That finds its way into bluegrass music. And so it's commercial music, but it's also been picked up by amateur pickers. And that's the part that also keeps it going in West Virginia. Every town's got somebody who's leading a jam session on Monday night or Tuesday night and just sharing tunes with each other. And so for us in our program here, we got to strike that balance between teaching it as if it's a thing from the past, right? But also recognizing that it's a music in the present and finding a way to connect those two pieces. Part of the joy of playing this music is making all sorts of noise along the way, right? Bluegrass music and old-time music, they don't require you to be perfect. They require you to be good, and good is a feeling. It's not about playing perfectly. It's not playing with emotion, playing with the way you feel. So if you're starting out and you've got a violin and you're feeling sad, try to play something that feels sad on that. If you're feeling really happy, play something happy. Work your way through whatever you're feeling inside, put that on the instrument, and try to make it sound like that, and you're going to go really far in this music. I've had some students who really have come to life playing in this band, and I'm really proud of that. I have a student in mind who was with us for about 6 years. She did a couple of graduate degrees as well as an undergraduate degree here. She was so enthusiastic. She'd always bring a new song. She'd bring a new instrument. She loved to collect instruments, so she'd bring whatever her new thing was and show it off to everybody and let us all play it. And I watched it when she was going through downtimes. You could see it on her face, but you get to the end of rehearsal and she'd be smiling again. It was just a way of just getting together and playing music with people. Just having that little pick-me-up on a Friday afternoon meant so much to her. And to be able to create that space for her meant a lot to me. Because I know sometimes I don't want to go play this music. I'm tired. It's been a hard day at work. But then you get to the jam and you feel better because you're playing with your friends. And that really meant a lot to watch her grow.
Hello, I'm Mary Lynn. I'm from Morgantown, West Virginia, and I am an English major at WVU, and I play the mandolin in the Bluegrass Ensemble at WVU. Well, I actually grew up playing classical violin, but I eventually got into some old-time music and bluegrass music around Morgantown and picked up the mandolin. When I was younger, I liked to listen to bluegrass a lot, and I liked how fast it was, so I bet that's what really drew me to it, I think. Well, I think the most important thing is that we're all really good friends and get along really well, and we get to learn how to work together in a band to create a lot of cool music. So this is the mandolin.
Hi, I'm Isaac McCarthy. I'm currently a sophomore studying music at West Virginia University, and I play banjo for the WVU Bluegrass Band. I've been playing banjo for just under a year and a half. I've ended up here simply because I liked banjo. I thought it was really cool before I could really even listen to it, and when the chance to play one as a person who just likes musical instruments came up, I just took it, and now I'm here. I just like musical instruments. I started on trumpet and really just it's fascinating. Any chance to make noise in such a cool way is just an appealing adventure to me. You don't grow in music if you're not playing with people, and to play with people who are so supportive and allow me to make mistakes, especially as I'm such a beginner compared to some people who've been playing for much longer than me, has really led me to grow and fall in love with the music that they've already fallen in love with on my own terms and on my own schedule.
Hi, I'm Mason Afa. I'm from Jane Lou, West Virginia. I'm currently studying music education, where I'm a junior here at WVU, and I play upright bass, or doghouse bass as it's sometimes called, in the WVU Bluegrass Band. I actually first started playing bass because of bluegrass. I had a buddy in high school that was going to a band rehearsal, and he said, "Why don't you come along?" And we were actually very fortunate to have this program at our high school. It was run by a retired chemistry teacher, and he came back every week, and he got instruments like these, guitars and mandolins and banjos in kids' hands, and I just happened to be one of those kids. So I showed up and he said, "Well, we don't have a bass player yet." And I said, I don't mind playing bass. And here we are, 6-7 years later, and I'm studying bass at a college. I'd already played guitar quite a lot, and I had played a little bit of electric bass, but this instrument was just so fascinating that I thought I would try something new. It's just very enticing, I think, with all of its lowness and its curves and its beautiful, giant, annoying wood. I think that, especially playing this music, it gives me a connection to Appalachia here and to all these people. I mean, my next door neighbor back home lives half a mile away, and he happens to play banjo. And so there's sort of it's so relevant. You can go just about anywhere in Lewis County or lots of places around here and find this music, whether it be in people's living rooms, on their front porches, on stages. And so playing music with, my friends and these wonderful musicians just really helps connect me. So like I said, I play the upright bass. It's in a lot of music. You'll hear it in bluegrass, you'll hear it in country, you'll hear it in orchestras and in jazz. So in bluegrass music, it might sound like this. And And then if you hear it in a jazz band, there might be a walking bass line like this. And then you might hear an orchestra playing some of your favorite tunes.
I'm Claire. I am a visiting student from Colorado State University. I'm a junior there in Natural Resources Tourism, and I play the fiddle in the WVU Bluegrass Band. So I grew up around bluegrass. My dad was actually, he played a lot of rock and punk. He played in the church when he was even younger. But through the friends that he made playing in the Minneapolis music scene, he actually discovered bluegrass, and that kind of spurred his love for bluegrass guitar, bluegrass everything, and now he's a bluegrass banjo player. And to me, it's just a really, it reminds me of my parents, it reminds me of home, so. So I was on and off with picking up the fiddle since about the age of 8 years old. Wanted to start with the mandolin, it didn't stick. Then I switched over to the fiddle, kind of, sort of stuck. And then I had some big revelation when I was about 15. That was like, I actually love playing this music. It's so much fun. And I've pretty much been doing it ever since in my parents' band and with friends, clearly. Coming to West Virginia has been one of the greater decisions of my life, actually. I have met some of the most interesting, most kind, coolest people here. And I am just so grateful to have them in my life and to have this experience so far. And meeting these people, I mean, I'm obviously referring to them, has been my favorite part of it, just playing all the music and everything. And Appalachia as a whole has also always kind of drawn my attention and been really fascinating to me, in part because of this music, but I've also learned that the people are just so great and so kind.
Hi, I'm Kaylee Boyce, and I am a senior music therapy student, and I play the fiddle / violin in the WVU Bluegrass Band. Well, I had been playing classical violin basically my whole life, and growing up, every time I ever told anybody I played violin, they always asked me if I played fiddle, and I'd always say no, but I always wanted to because I thought it was a very interesting way to play. It was super fast, it was very different than anything I was used to, so finally I decided to do it once I got to college. I think what I really like is the connections that I have made with everybody in the band, and it was mentioned before, but I really like how supportive the environment is, and everybody is so talented, so it like pushes me to practice and really want to be my best as well. Okay, so since I already played some fiddle for you, I will be playing some classical violin for you.
Hey, my name is Hazel Riley, and I am a freshman engineering major at WVU, and I play guitar in the WVU Bluegrass Band. I kind of always grew up around bluegrass, and it was a big part of where I lived, and a lot of people played it and really enjoyed it, so I spent a lot of my time like going around and listening to some really good musicians play this music, and it was just like a big thing in my community. When I was 6, my grandma bought me my first guitar, and it was like this big, and I still have it, and it's the best thing ever. Probably my favorite thing about playing old time and bluegrass is the joy it brings. Like, it's amazing how much joy it brings us just to play and to watch other people who really appreciate us, you know, like playing this music and passing on the tradition, because it's a big part of, you know, West Virginia culture and heritage, and it brings so many people so much joy, and that's definitely my favorite thing about playing. Sure.
My name is Robin Frey, and I'm about to be senior music education student at WVU, and I play the guitar in the Bluegrass Band. Well, I was classical for like a long time, like since I was like a little kid. And then I came here and I was doing like classical singing, like opera singing. Man, I just hated it so much. Like if you miss a note, they'll stop it and they'll say, that was wrong. But if you miss a note in bluegrass, they'll say, that was interesting. I started playing guitar seriously about 3 years ago. I could play like, 3-chord songs, 2-chord songs, like just really basic stuff in like high school, but not like actually starting until probably my first year of college. Well, because whenever I switched my major, switched my instrument from voice, they didn't have a banjo studio yet. We get to play different every time, You can just play whatever you want. And it sounds good. If it does, and if it doesn't, okay, whatever, It's just really free, really fun, So Hazel played some old time. I'm gonna play some jazz. That's a little bit of what I do here, so.